Huge Hulk fan, TV Crazy Man here with the best of the best Incredible Hulk episodes that you definitely need to see or see again, with the Hulk's biggest battles, tragedies, laughter, and adventure.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
It's classic TV at its finest. Airing in November of 1977, A Death in the Family, originally titled Return of the Incredible Hulk, was the exciting second TV movie of the original series before it officially started airing in March of '78.
Pink elephants is one thing, but this is something new.
David helps a young woman who can't escape her doctor who is slowly poisoning her. William Daniels from Knight Rider actually plays a bad guy in this one. Also appearing was Gerald McRaney from Simon & Simon and Mills Watson from Sheriff Lobo.
Bones and all, he ate the whole thing, bones and all.
The Hulk takes on a helicopter and a grizzly bear. I've talked about this scene before. It's a truly exciting moment looking back, but if you look carefully, you can see the Hulk's green paint coming off on the bear. And when he throws the bear flying, it's obviously not a real bear. But then you have to know the production team could never really shoot a real live bear across the sky.
Sheesh.
You know, I sincerely miss those days of practical effects when what you saw on the screen was at least physically there in some capacity and not always CGI. Oh, did I mention I hate CGI bears?
I'm here, Bear. I'm here.
Well, she was, but the bear wasn't.
No, don't eat the bottle. Don't eat it. Don't.
In Season 4's The First, Banner visits a small town where another Hulk was sighted years before. Banner comes so close to a cure in this one, but the first Hulk destroys the cure, and a battle ensues between the two green monsters. This one was great because it was the first time we got to see the Hulk battle another equally powered monster. We wouldn't see another superpowered being until the Hulk's return on the first reunion TV movie. Here's some fascinating trivia from the first for you. The name Jeffrey Clive of the brilliant deceased scientist who had discovered the cure and Dale Fry, the man who became the monster, are tributes to actors Colvin Clive and Dwight Fry, who played Dr. Frankenstein and his assistant Fritz in the classic horror movie Frankenstein back in 1931. Frankenstein was, of course, one of the inspirations for the Hulk's creation, along with the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Harry Towns, the man who played Dale Fry, the man who turned into the first Hulk. He was a character actor who popped up in a lot of classic sci-fi shows. You probably have seen him on The Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, One Step Beyond, and Star Trek. Dick Durock was the man who embodied the first Hulk. He was a stuntman who went on to play the Swamp Thing in the first movies and TV series.
What's wrong?
Also a two-parter, Prometheus is a favorite because it comes really close to showing us Gamma Base from the comics. Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno are joined by Rick Drayson to create the Demi-Hulk, a mid-transformed version of the Hulk that Banner finds himself stuck in after being exposed to a mysterious meteor.
What's happened to you?
I don't know.
The Hulk in mid-transformation turns out to actually be the scariest version.
A mirror.
I don't have one.
Rick Drayson also did a Hulk parody on a Wild Wild West TV movie in 1980, the same year as this episode. He was a career bodybuilder who was famous for having designed the Gold's Gym logo. He had a popular fitness channel on YouTube until he passed away in 2020. The military, just like in the comics, tries to capture the Hulk, who ultimately cannot be contained. The episode features guest stars like Laurie Prang, who appeared on the second Hulk TV movie as a different character that was in need of the Hulk's aid. Whit Bissell from the Time Tunnel shows up, and that show actually also featured a secret underground military base. The Time Tunnel was used for time travel, of course, while the Prometheus base was all about aliens. The Prometheus base was created using a combination of real-world locations and Hollywood studio sets. The exterior shots, including the giant gates, or the Goldstone Deep Space Communications Complex in the Mojave Desert. A lot of the interior shots were from the Castaic Power Plant located near Los Angeles. Kenneth Johnson used this location on an episode of The Bionic Woman as well. Monty Markham, best known as the $7 Million Man from the $6 Million Man series, also appears. Always love to see him pop up. In Season 3's Proof Positive, Jack Colvin's McGee has the whole episode to himself, as this is the only episode where Bill Bixby wasn't available to do any new filming. We only see Banner in flashbacks and from a distance through the use of a stand-in, which actually kind of works in favor of this episode's angle being from McGee's point of view. The episode starts with a nightmare sequence, just like the one Banner has in the second season episode Married, only in this instance it's McGee being chased by the Hulk and not Banner. This is one of my favorite episodes back when I was a kid. I guess it was partly due to the fact that through the flashbacks we got to see a lot more Hulk in the episode than usual.
I can't possibly describe what it was like seeing that terrible creature.
A lot of the best Hulk episodes were two-parters.
We are going to contain him.
I think he's moving at the door.
Season 2 starts us off with a real tearjerker entitled Married.
Marry me.
For how long?
For however long there is.
David travels to Hawaii to consult with psychologist Carolyn Fields, played by Mariette Hartley, who won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Dramatic Series for this very episode.
I love you, Dave. I love you, Carol.
The chemistry between Hartley and Bixby was so good that they decided to team up again in Bixby's next regular series in 1983. The show was Goodnight Beantown. Carolyn and David fall in love in this episode and get married, but sadly, Carolyn is dying from an autoimmune disease that causes painful seizures. One thing that Bixby did so well was convey emotion, where it was anger, sadness, or grief, and his acting skills were prominently put on display in this episode. The success of the Hulk lay in the fact it was not just a good superhero TV show or a good sci-fi show. It was great television, period. You know, it's a travesty that Bixby himself never won an Emmy for the series. Despite being highly respected and receiving Emmy nominations for other series, he never won an Emmy in his lifetime. One important note, this episode featured Hulk dream sequences that allowed Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno to actually share scenes together, as Banner tries to capture the Hulk in his mind using hypnosis. The first season episode of The Incredible Hulk, Never Give a Trucker an Even Break, was a great episode that one of the greatest directors of all time, Steven Spielberg, just hated. Why did Spielberg hate it? The episode used footage from Spielberg's TV movie The Duel, which made him angry, and you wouldn't like him when he's angry. He couldn't do anything about it though, since Universal owned both the Hulk TV show and The Duel that starred Dennis Weaver. The scenes in question are related to the red Plymouth shown in the episode and the old beat-up big rig truck. On the movie, Dennis Weaver is harassed by a truck driver the entire movie and pretty much scared out of his mind. Duel originally aired as part of the ABC Movie of the Week series on November 13, 1971, and then it got an international theatrical release. The Incredible Hulk episode Never Give a Trucker an Even Break aired on April 28, 1978 on CBS. The title of the episode is a play on the 1941 W.C. Fields movie Never Give a Sucker an Even Break. Now in this episode, Jennifer Darling guest stars. She had just finished The Bionic Woman in the $6 Million Man series, where she played Oscar Goldman's secretary, Peggy Callahan. The premise of this episode is that David Banner hitches a ride with a young woman named Joni, and she uses him as a diversion to steal her truck back from a bunch of crooks.
Look! Do you have the number of the police? I don't have 25 cents!
I really have to buy shirts that stretch.
In the episode Mystery Man, Banner is in a car accident, leaving him with amnesia and a bandaged face. He later ends up trapped with a man who hounds him constantly, Jack McGee. Will McGee discover he's hanging out with the Hulk? It's another episode that likes to use flashbacks, but the Hulk is one of those series where flashbacks work very well usually, and it's used here to give us greater insight into the characters.
But the Hulk saved your life. You told me so yourself. Don't you think you should help it?
Yes! But you gotta choose.
Arguably, the best episode of The Incredible Hulk has to be the pilot TV movie from 1977. This one gives us the origin of the Hulk and sets up Banner as a tragic figure, a man who seeks the strength that all humans have, in order to come to terms with the loss of his wife, whom he failed to save in a car accident. This episode also gives us one of the most recognized Hulk lines of all times. "Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry."
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Shortly thereafter, the explosion occurs. Producer Kenneth Johnson, despite being one of the greats in sci-fi storytelling, or maybe because of it, wanted the Hulk to be grounded in reality. He was able to make the Hulk more than just an adventure series. It had depth, and was liked by both adults and kids alike. He was spot on with most of his decisions, except for maybe one thing. At first he wanted the Hulk to be red like the color of rage, but Stan Lee argued against that move. The Red Hulk would show up years later in the comics and even in the last Captain America movie. Richard Kiel, famous as the villain Jaws from Roger Moore James Bond films, had the role of the Hulk for about a week before they determined he was just too skinny. One shot of him as the Hulk still exists in the finished pilot episode. On a personal note, like probably a lot of other Hulk fans my age, this series was my introduction to the Hulk. When I first saw a Hulk comic book on a newsstand at the local drugstore, I thought it was based off the show. Now, I would eventually figure out the Hulk had actually been around for quite a while. I still remember my sister hiding behind the couch when Bixby first turned into the Hulk. For some reason, I don't think he scared me a whole lot. Maybe, like all the other monster movies I'd seen in the past. Maybe it was just because my mom told me the Hulk was a good guy.
When David Banner met Maggie Shaw, it was the love they'd both been looking for. But she didn't know his secret. She didn't know that his danger would become her danger. Their life together was threatened. David Banner had been pushed too far.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
He's mean and green, and after 6 years, the Hulk will face his greatest challenge ever, because this time he's fighting for love. Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno are the Incredible Hulk. It's the Incredible Hulk Returns.
The Incredible Hulk Returns reunion TV movie in 1988 was one of my favorites from out of the three reunion movies. In this one, we got to see the Hulk fight Thor, and that the last time we saw the Hulk fight a superpowered foe was the older Hulk from the episode The First. Even though this one was nowhere near as deep as the original series, it was a lot of fun seeing Thor on television for the first time. The tone was lighthearted and action-packed. The character of Thor was played by Eric Allen Kramer. There was talk of a Thor TV series, but it never made it into production. Now, Kenneth Johnson wasn't a part of the production of any of these TV reunion movies. Sadly, this was the last appearance of Jack Colvin as Mr. McGee. Colvin had a stroke later, which kept him from making any more appearances later on. There were a lot of other contenders in the list that deserve mention, like the episode 747, The Snare, Homecoming, Terror in Times Square, where Lou literally runs through the streets of New York, something that was very unusual back then. Most of the time, everything was filmed in California. See, they'd use stock background shots to set the location, and everything else would just be in Hollywood or close to it. Well, thanks for watching. Check out my Hulk TV series Special Effects and Mistakes video for a deeper dive into behind the scenes. Plus, there's a lot more Hulk facts and fun videos on the TV Crazy Man channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment and let me know what you thought of this video. Thanks, and y'all have a great day.